Hello my loves, it's Monica and this is the start of a new, very exciting reading vlog because this is the start of my Rule of Wolves reading vlog. If you are not familiar, Rule of Wolves is the sequel to King of Scars, and Leigh Bardugo has referred to this book as like the series finale of the Grishaverse. So yeah, it's a big day. I'm about to head out to go to Barnes & Noble to pick up my copy. The trailer for Shadow and Bone just launched, so my reaction to that is up. So if you haven't watched that, you should go watch that. But yeah, we're gonna vlog a bit of today, going to get the book. Eventually this will turn into a spoilery vlog, but I will let you know when that's happening. But yeah, oh, I'm so excited. Nikolai is everything to me. So here's a quick outfit of the day before I run out to Barnes & Noble. Feeling very Daphne from Scooby-Doo today. So I have this green polo that I thrifted, this purple skirt that I've had for a while, and I'm wearing my Lazy Oaf Melissa shoes, yellow headband, some strawberry earrings. So yeah, this is my outfit. It's quite warm, so I wanted to be a little breezy. Okay, so I am home from Barnes & Noble and I have a little haul of books that I'm so excited to share with you all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so first, obviously, we got Rule of Wolves, which I'm so excited for. Ooh, I'm gonna start this ASAP. And then I picked up Yolk by Mary H.K. Choi, who is one of my favorite authors, so I was really excited for this one, and it was 10% off. And then lastly, Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Malinda Lo, which was one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. Actually, all three of these were, and I've heard such amazing things about this one, so I was really excited to get my hands on it. So that is my quick little Barnes & Noble book haul. I just had a little bit of a cry. Just like all the attacks that have been happening on Asian people in this country have been really hard to watch, especially like knowing that it's not like we're talking about it now, but it's not that new. Like I remember when I first moved to New York City a few years ago, there was like a string of attacks on Asian women, and it was like played off like a joke at the time, and like now looking back on things like that and all, like just all the ways that like violence and hatred towards Asian people has been treated up until like I feel like this moment, it's been hard. And it's like, this is not what this vlog, like this vlog is supposed to be, my King of Scars vlog, and it's supposed to be me just like crying over Nikolai, but it's hard to watch, you know, have to watch my mom watch that on the news and be afraid to go places, or be afraid for me to go places. And it also sucks because like we keep having really great moments, you know, like this morning I was so excited. You know, I got to watch a Shadow and Bone trailer and see an Asian woman playing, you know, one of my favorite fictional characters, and know that, you know, this show is gonna come out and it's gonna have a storyline that is uniquely Asian, and that's amazing. And you know, same thing, like, you know, like same thing with like the Oscars, and you know, you get to see Minari get all of these awards, and Nomadland, and just seeing, you know, Asian people excel in these moments, and then it seems like less than 24 hours later there's something horrible, and I just feel like I have whiplash or something. It's just stressful and upsetting, and it's bringing up a lot of like my own experiences. So I don't know, I don't want to like make this vlog about this. I want it to be a fun Nikolai vlog, and I feel like I deserve to have a fun Nikolai vlog. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I wanted to talk about that because that's a real thing that I'm dealing with right now. And I don't want to just gloss over it or not discuss it. I'll also have like lots of links in the description box if you guys want to do anything to like to help. But I feel like the best thing to do to help, you know, obviously there's places you can donate, but the best thing is to just be involved in your community and be having conversations with people, because this isn't okay and it's scary. Okay, I'm gonna calm down and I will be back with some Shadow and Bone Nikolai feels, okay? I want to be happy and I deserve to be happy today. Y'all, I was having a rough afternoon, as you all saw a second ago. And then my brother-in-law came in with a package and someone sent me Mooncakes, which is a graphic novel that I have wanted for so long, and I didn't even realize it was back in stock. So thank you. This didn't come with a note, so if this was you, thank you so much, because honestly today was rough. I mean, it was like a really good day. I got to go to the bookstore for the first time in like over a year, and that was amazing. But then this afternoon was rough, and this really just made it a lot nicer. So thank you if that was you. But I am going to finally start reading Wool of Wolves. This book is so chunky and I am so, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful under the dust jacket. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness, I love it. And this one comes with, it's the Barnes & Noble exclusive, so it comes with an annotated chapter by Leigh Bardugo. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I'm gonna let myself finally dive into this and actually begin this reading vlog, at least the reading portion of this reading vlog. So I do want to say a couple of quick things before I dive into reading this book. First of all, there will be spoilers from here on out about everything leading up to this book. So if you haven't read Six of Crows, if you haven't read the Grisha trilogy, you should leave a comment down below, give this video a like, and then stop watching, because I'm gonna be, I mean, potentially I might spoil things from those books. And then obviously if you haven't read King of Scars, you definitely should not watch this video. So I just spent the past 10 minutes looking up how King of Scars ended, because I forgot some bits and pieces. So I'm feeling good now. So yeah, we're getting into spoilers now. So we know at the end of King of Scars that Nikolai is engaged to the shoe princess, not Zoya, which is very frustrating. And I think that's probably the main thing. And then also, of course, that the Darkling is back in Yuri. Also how Isaac died, which was, I just remember that being devastating. And I think those are like the main things to know going into this book. So yeah, I'm gonna kick this off and start reading it. I can't believe I just finished chapter 1, and this book is definitely pulling no punches. We started off with a bang. Again, spoilers are starting. But anyways, so we start off, we meet Queen Makai, who is queen of the Shu. And this is something that I've been really excited but also worried for in this book, because I knew that like the Shu was going to become a much more prominent part of the story, and that is basically the Asian nation. And you know, they are an enemy to Ravka, and so I was like, I was nervous about how that was going to be depicted, but I'm actually really excited about the Shu now. I just feel like that first chapter gave me so much. I don't know, like Leigh Bardugo has such a good way of giving you a bunch of information but not having it feel info dumpy at all, and having it be like super fascinating. Like I was just really fascinated by the Shu and their history and their practices. They seem to be a matriarchy, which is super cool. And I also appreciate that they're not depicted as this like evil country or like conniving country like their queen is. But she's like not supposed to be their queen. She stole the throne from her sister, and so I really appreciate that, because that was something I was nervous about, because that is something that tends to be kind of a stereotype in like when it comes to depicting like Asian coded countries in fantasy. And like, of course I knew Leigh Bardugo wouldn't do that, but it's always a fear. So yeah, I really am loving that, and I'm super excited just to learn more about the shoe like world in general. And yeah, I'm really excited about Makai. I also like that she isn't like, even in that first chapter, like we get that she is very like power hungry, and she is also like, she craves war, but she also like is a full person. Like she really cares about her niece, like genuinely does, and her country, but she also just like has this darkness in her. And like the ending where like her niece is just like killed right in front of her, it was wild. I mean, to start off a book with that is intense, and that definitely sets a precedent for what this book is going to be like, which makes me very nervous. I guess I should talk a little bit about like what my hopes are for this book, which are that I just want Nikolai and Nina to be happy, and Zoya, Nikolai, Nina, and Zoya, like I need them to have happily ever afters. And like Leigh Bardugo doesn't really do happily ever afters. Like I feel like her endings are always kind of bittersweet. So I'm really scared. I'm so scared. But I am very much so a shipper of Zoya and Nikolai. I actually started shipping them in the third Shadow and Bone book, and then like to have that confirmed, like their relationship, or at least their feelings for each other in King of Scars, was very exciting for me. So I'm hoping for like more with them. And obviously I just want Nina to fall in love again and have a new love, because I think she deserves that. So yeah. And then the Darkling, what do I want the Darkling? Here's the thing, I've seen some people be like, oh, I want there to be like a Darkling redemption arc, and I just like, I don't think that there is a redemption arc for that man. Like I would be shocked if Leigh Bardugo gave the Darkling a redemption arc, because of like how horrible everything he did was. Like he literally took the people that Alina loved and cared about and strung them up on a tree like Christmas ornaments, okay? Like this man is not getting a redemption arc. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. I promise not to do an update after every chapter. I just feel like these beginning ones are important to talk about. The next chapter is a Nina chapter, which I'm really excited for. I love Nina so much. So I'm about like 80 pages in. I also really should probably go to bed. It's like 1 a.m. But basically we are, Fjerda is attacking Ravka, and this whole time I've been so upset because they didn't get the Kirch support, and I like and then we find out that Nikolai knew the whole time that they weren't gonna get the Kirch support, and that was just like a ruse, and that they were actually working with the Zemeni. And like I just love that. And I also like, I love the fact, because I was like kind of disappointed in Nikolai for like selling this like submarines to the Kirch to like destroy the Zemeni ships, but it turns out he didn't. He sold them those submarines, but they were useless because he gave the Zemeni flying ships. Love that. Love this man. I love one man, and it's Nikolai Lantsov. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm also, we left Nina with someone with slate gray eyes, and like for the life of me I can't remember who that would be. So I'm hoping, I just want to get to like Nina's chapter, and then I think I'm gonna try to go to bed. So it is like 2 a.m. and I'm quite tired. I got up to chapter 8, so I finished Nina's chapter, and I'm really loving this book. Like I don't know, I think maybe the King of Scars duology might be my favorite in like the Grishaverse, maybe. I think Shadow and Bone is my favorite. I know most people prefer Six of Crows, but I love the original trilogy. But this, I just really love like how many moving pieces there are in this duology. I just think it's so fun and interesting and just really, really well done. So yeah, I'm really loving this book so far. Hana, the prince, basically just like coughed up blood and like collapsed in Hana's arms. And I have a feeling, because Hana, I believe, is a healer, so a feeling that she is about to heal him, maybe in front of everybody. I'm not sure. I don't know. That would be wild.
What you need to know. All the humor left Nikolai's face. What do you want with Alina? A chance to apologize. A chance to see what became of the girl who drove a knife into my heart. Zoya shook her head.
Hello. Okay, it is the next day. I just finished chapter 9, which is Zoya's chapter, and they went to see the Darklings. It's the first time we saw the Darkling in this book, and he seems to not be doing very well. He's very weak, and he's in prison, and he wants to see Alina. For what? Who knows? He says to apologize. We know that's not true. Pals. Okay, first of all, I have 2 different colored eyeshadows on. I was trying out my new the new Lizzie McGuire palette, so let's just ignore that. Also doing my nails, listening to King of Scars right now. I'm on chapter 14, and Alina just appeared. I wasn't really sure if she was actually going to show Alina in this or not, but the fact that she is just I'm so excited right now, and also like kind of devastated, because this is definitely some like series finale-ish, you know, like yeah, it's making me really nervous for how this book is going to wrap everything up, because as of right now, I have no idea what I want for this book, like how I want this book to end. You know, like they're working towards this war, like wars with like every country basically, and I don't want them to go to war, because it's like just a continuation of like everything Ravka keeps doing. It keeps going into war, and it's weakening and weakening and weakening, and but I also don't know how they get out of this war. I also really loved the conversation around David, just like everyone sort of taking ownership for their actions, you know, like Zoya having a moment where she had to take ownership for like how she treated Genya, and David taking ownership for how he helped the Darkling, just like sort of blindly, you know, making these tools of destruction. Okay, so just finished chapter 14. The Darkling did something. We all knew he was gonna do something. I'm not sure exactly what he did yet, because it immediately switched over to Nikolai's wedding, which is just filling me with so much sadness, because he should be marrying Zoya right now. But I'm still hopeful that maybe that is the end game happening here. One thing that I did want to comment on, first of all, it was really great just seeing like Mal and Alina, and I really love that they talked about the ending of the Shadow and Bone trilogy, because that's something that I see a lot of people disliking, like how Alina lost her powers. But I don't know, I didn't dislike the ending. The ending of the Shadow and Bone series is, I love it. The first time I read it, I didn't. It took a couple rereads, and also just like getting older. But as I've reread it, and as I've sort of matured as a person, I think I've really come to appreciate and love what Leigh does in that series, and especially in how she ends it. Because, you know, Alina, and I see this so much, is that like this take that Mal hated Alina's powers and was jealous of her powers and wanted her to not have them. And like, I just disagree with that completely. Like I do think that like they were both kind of toxic to each other at one point. Also, I look so funny right now, but whatever, it's fine. I think they were both really toxic for each other at one point in the series, but I think they also grow together to be better people, because they genuinely love each other and care about each other. But I think like Mal wasn't afraid of her power. He was afraid of her becoming the Darkling. He was afraid of her being evil, and like that is a very justified fear. Like if you see your friend or someone you love going down a dangerous path, of acquiring power that they use to hurt others, or that puts them in a really dark place, like you would be a bad friend if you didn't say something, if you didn't, you know, try and help them. And like, I think it's not fun, Mal's role in the series, because he kind of puts a damper on like Alina becoming this like super powerful queen or whatever, but like at the end of the day, like he was helping her become a better person. And like her ending, her losing her sun summoner abilities, was the consequence that she faced for like going after all of this power. And I think it's really important that like when you do something, like there are consequences. And you know, I respect Leigh's choice in doing that, because that's something that we often do not see in a lot of fantasy, often in a lot of YA fantasy, is that like, you know, the main character will do something that's not good and something bad should happen, but they kind of like get away with it, or they, you know, they kind of find a way through it. And I appreciate that. Like Alina, you know, it's not a super sad ending. Like I think she has a pretty happy ending and happy life, but I don't know, it just made me appreciate the ending of Shadow and Bone even more. I loved seeing them together. I loved seeing Misha again and having him like yell at the Darkling. That was great. But another thing that I noticed is that I do not at all feel in this book that like attraction that I felt for the Darkling when I read Shadow and Bone. And like I feel that every time I reread that series. Like to this day, I reread it recently, and like I'm there and I'm like, listen, I am Team Alina all the way. But like every time it gets to that point when Alina turns down his black kefta for a blue one, I am like, girl, what are you doing? But I don't feel that at all in this book. Like he is completely lost that. He is pure villain and just like not someone I find appealing at all, which I think is interesting. Like I wonder if that is because of the fact that he is like not fully the Darkling. I mean, I'm sure it's like also a conscious choice on Leigh's part and how she's writing him, but I don't know, I just an observation. So yeah, we are getting to the wedding scene right now. I feel like the Darkling is about to like show up and mess everything up, but we will see. We'll see how it goes. Also, I haven't really talked about Nina at all in this, but her whole story is stressing me out. I love her and Hana. I'm just stressed. Like her entire existence is just constant stress, because I'm like, when are people gonna figure this out? I also don't know how to feel about the prince, because he's kind of a jerk right now, but then he was like, he apologized for it, so I was like, okay, maybe he's not a bad person. I don't know. I don't want Hana and the prince to be a thing. I just want Hana and Nina to be a thing, so.
And there was no way he was leaving her side. You will answer my questions, Makai hissed. We were brought here for your wedding to my accursed sister. Royal wedding. It said a royal wedding. And here we are.
Happy tears. David and Jenya are everything. Just, I can't believe they just got married. I can't believe that, you know, you think you know what's gonna happen in this book, and she does something totally different. I thought this was gonna be Nikolai's wedding. Why is she so good? How is she so good? Oh my god. Okay, so 1, did my skincare routine so I don't look as like weird as I was looking before. 2, I'm on chapter 16. I think this is where I'm gonna stop for the night. I don't think I even introduced today. Hi, it's a few days later. I took a break from reading it, mostly because I just don't want it to end, to be honest. But yeah, I'm on chapter 16, which is a Nina chapter, and I'm going to pause here because I kind of feel like we're getting to parts that are going to, like, where I just won't be able to pause, and it's really late, so I need to sleep. Guys, I made a critical error. Yeah, so I just read chapter, what chapter am I on? I'm on chapter, yeah, so I am on chapter, I just finished chapter 18, and I can't continue because I was just listening to it while I was getting ready to film, and the way that chapter just ended, I'm pretty sure the next chapter is going to completely obliterate me as a person. If what I think just happened, I'm gonna live in this bubble of hope for right now, because again, why did I put makeup on and think I could read this book and not have it destroy me? What was I thinking? Okay, yeah, anyways, it's the next day, by the way. I feel like at this point, you know, this vlog is not gonna make any sort of like time sense, I'm just kind of documenting my reading experience of it. It's not like a life vlog like I normally do, because otherwise it'd probably be like 50 hours long. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. We just had like this beautiful, yeah, we just had this like beautiful wedding moment between Jenya and David, and Nikolai just like, well, also the Darkling is fully back. He like, everyone trusted him for some dumb reason, and now he's back. So that happened. Nikolai won over the Shoe Queen, maybe. And the Fjerdans attacked. Nina also found Nikolai's actual father, proving that Nikolai is a bastard. Found his father, left his father. Why did Nina not get the message from his dad? Like, I was like, why can't you just like get the message from him and then gag him and put him back? Like, no, just put him back before getting the message. Anyways, so that happened, and then we had the wedding, and then the attack from Fjerda, and now David's missing. And I swear they cannot do this to me. Leigh Bardugo cannot do this to me. Okay, I'm gonna go film. I can't spiral. I just did my makeup. Okay, so I filmed the video. Oh, I'm not not even in frame. I filmed the video that I was planning to film, and I just read chapter 19. So yeah, on part 2, I just finished chapter 19. I'm really interested in the fact that we now get Mayu's point of view. I wasn't expecting a new POV, but I'm excited about that because I was actually really sad that we were sort of leaving the whole Shoe plotline, because that's what I thought was happening. So I'm excited that we're still getting that, because I like the Shoe kingdom and all of that is so fascinating to me, and I love like all of the bits and pieces that we're getting of that. I'm really hopeful that in this show we'll get even more, because I love it.
And Zoya felt that love, the enormity of what Jenya had lost. It was too much pain to endure, knowing she could do nothing to erase that pain.
I wasn't sure if David was actually going to be dead. I was really hoping that he was gonna be okay. Makeup was a bad choice. He had a notebook of compliments. He had a notebook of compliments for Jenya. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed now. I am drained. The chapter ended on a high note. I'm pretty sure we're about to see the crows again. So I'm excited about that. I'm gonna stop talking though on camera because I currently look like this. Yeah, I'm in pain. I don't know why. I was just like, oh yeah, David's injured. I just didn't, they just got married. Leigh. So I came outside to read a bit. I read chapter 21 just now, and we're getting the Darkling's POV. Well, he's the monk now because it's the Darkling and Yuri. Oh, also it was interesting because they go through like his names, and one of the names mentioned is Kirigan, and if you don't know, instead of calling him the Darkling in Shadow and Bone, they're calling him General Kirigan, which I think is really interesting, which was just like an exciting little moment to like see that name mentioned. But now he's going by Alexander instead of the Darkling, which I also quite like because that is his actual name. So it kind of feels like he's been stripped a bit of the lore around him. Hello, just doing a little bit of crying again. So I am on chapter 24. So I'm a little bit more than halfway through it, just like a little bit. It's been a few days. I haven't been reading for like the past few days because I got a VR system, so I've just been playing that a lot. So that's my bad. But my goal is to try and finish this book soon because I want to upload this video before the show goes live. I'm on chapter 24 and I'm loving Nina's whole time in Fjerda, and just like this whole con she's playing on the queen is so good and like riveting, and I'm really interested to see just how everything continues to wrap up, because like the thing about this book is that like everything's like constantly at war. Like all of these countries are constantly at war with Ravka, but so much of the book is really just like about the politics of it all, about like Nikolai and everyone involved just like doing what they can to try and prevent a war, because like if it comes to like an outright war and like battles, Ravka loses. And so I think that's really fascinating, because it's different, you know, from what I think your normal sort of fantasy book does, in that, you know, obviously there have been a few like battle scenes, but like the book isn't like leading up to, or it doesn't seem to be leading up to like this grand standoff. It almost seems to be like a bunch of different like political maneuvers, and I'm kind of obsessed with that. Like I was talking actually to my friend Blake about it, and it made me realize like how cool it is that Leigh Bardugo, like she's written 3 series within this Grisha universe, and each series feels completely different. You know, you had like the original Shadow and Bone trilogy, which feels like very traditional YA fantasy, but like elevated, you know, like I think it's one of the best YA fantasies ever written, in my personal opinion. I love the way that it subverts so much of the genre, and so yeah, I love it. And then you have Six of Crows, that duology, which feels very much so, you know, has that classic heist novel feeling to it, while also just being such a fun puzzle of a book. And then you have the King of Scars duology, which is like a whole opera. Like it just feels so big and political and complex, and yeah, it's just like it really does, like Rule of Wolves really does feel like a culmination of everything. I'm really loving it, and I have no idea still like how everything is going to wrap up, like how this last half of this book is going to go. I have no concept, and I'm scared. And I also keep crying because of David, so that's where I'm at right now. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm hoping to get like about 100 more pages in tonight before I head to bed, so we'll see how I do about that. And I'm back. I just did my nails again. I did some little clouds. I don't know if that's gonna focus. Yeah, okay, so I am on chapter 27, and Kaz just showed up. They're in Kirch. They're at the Crow Club. The Crow Club is thriving, and I just, reading this like little moment is just, oh, I really hope Leigh Bardugo writes the Six of Crows, like more stories about them, because like I just want to know like what's going on, and I want this world so bad. Oh, it'd be so good. But yeah, I'm just living for this little cameo, this little moment. And it's also, it's just so cool seeing like all of these characters come together in this one book. Like everything, it really does feel like such a series finale of a book. Hello, I am back with a new update. I just finished up chapter 30, and Nina and Hannah have just kissed for the first time, and I love them so much. The prince has definitely not turned out the way that I thought he was going to. Like I thought they were going to be like a little team, but he's not a good person. I found out that Joran is the one who killed Matthias, so that's rough. But also like I don't hate Joran, and I like want to hate him, but like I don't. But yeah, there is not a ton of book left, and I don't know, I still have no idea how this book is going to wrap up. The Druskella all just left, so I think like the Fjerdans are about to attack Ravka again. Don't know what that is going to entail, because Nikolai and Zoya are currently in Kirch with Kaz and the Crows. Still waiting on Nikolai and Zoya to kiss at some point. Like I just need them to admit their feelings for each other. I need it to happen. Also, I'm like, there's part of me that just wants this book to be like Nikolai saying like, okay, bye Ravka, it's nice knowing you, I'm gonna go be Sturmhond. Like, I don't foresee him doing that, but like I want him to do that.
A small movement, but he could feel her breath. His heart was racing.
So Nikolai just admitted his feelings. He just admitted his feelings to Zoya. Oh my god. Okay, so what did he say? He said, I would give you a crown if I could. I would show you the world from the prow of a ship. I would choose you, Zoya, as my general, as my friend, as my bride. I would give you a sapphire the size of an acorn, and all I would ask in return is that you wear this damnable ribbon in your hair on our wedding day. And then she turned him down. I just had another good cry. Nikolai just met his dad, which I'm really happy happened because I wasn't expecting that, but it was like, it was so incredibly bittersweet because all you want, like, you just want Nikolai to like get to have a dad, you know? And he doesn't get to have a dad because he has to be king, and I just want him to not be king anymore. Like, that would make his life so much better. There is like 100 pages left in this book, and there's still so much like that needs to happen. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. The apparat, I think, just attacked Nina. Hana is with the prince. Zoya just killed like a ton of Fjordan soldiers, but there's also like some big threat on the north. And I don't, but I'm so stressed. I'm blurry.
The love that had ruined her, it was the death of it. She believed that love would do the work for her. She let the thread fray and snap. This is what love does.
She is a genius. I'm over here bawling my eyes out over Hana. Hana is the prince. Hana's the prince. What? Genius. A actual genius.
You do realize you just referred to yourself as the queen. That means you agreed. I am going to kill you. So long as you kiss me again before you do. She obliged him. 47. Nina. Nina couldn't.
I'm going to have coherent thoughts tomorrow, but I think this is the greatest end to a series that I've ever read in my entire life. Like, this is the most perfect end to the Grishaverse that I think we could have ever gotten. It was perfect. It was actually perfect. And Leigh Bardugo is a genius, and I love these characters so much. Yeah. Those are my thoughts. Hello my friends, so I have finished Rule of Wolves, as you saw in the last clip, and it's a few hours later, and I am just so happy with the end of this story. I think it was so perfectly done. Everything about it felt so earned. The like character arcs made total sense. Like the way that everything came together, you saw so many references to even like the first book in the series, and like having this full circle story really come together. I just thought it was so masterfully done. Like Leigh Bardugo truly is a genius. Like her plotting in this book, superior. Her character work, superior. The politics, superior. The writing, beautiful. Like just absolutely stunning. And like, and for sure this has like raised the bar as far as like series endings are concerned. Like I don't think I've ever read an end to a series that I have loved as much as I love the ending to this series. And it's wild to me because like there's so much packed into this book, which I think is fantastic. Like we got to go on so many like final big adventures with all these characters, but at the same time like it felt so cohesive and it never felt too full. It never felt slow. I just was so immersed in this story at every turn. It's so wild to me that like Zoya is queen, and like just how, or like her story over the course of this entire series has been, is fascinating to me. And Nina's gonna be a queen. Like what? I don't know. I'm just like so floored at like the way that this story went, because you know, getting to those last like 150 pages, I was like, I have no idea how Leigh's gonna wrap this up in a way that like feels, you know, satisfying but also like not rushed or whatever. And she did it. Like, I don't know how she did it, but she did it. Nothing felt rushed. Everything felt like so perfectly paced, and I'm just enamored. Like, as a reader, I'm so happy, but also as a writer, I am so in awe of what she's accomplished with this book, because I think this is a masterpiece. Like, flat out, I think it's brilliant. One of the best fantasy books I've ever read. Hello, yes, editing Monica here. I just wanted to hop back in because one thing that I forgot to mention is that I loved the whole theme about love throughout the story, and this like the whole like this is what love does, and the fact that the bravest thing that these characters could do after all of this tragedy, after all of this, you know, trauma and war and you know, struggles for power, the bravest thing that a person can do is to still love. And I loved that message a lot. I thought that was really real and really well done. And all of those sections when, you know, she has those like, this is what love is, or this is what love does, like, oh, I just bawled every single time. They were so beautiful. Like, this book, like, it's so like such a good crafted story, but it's also just like so beautifully written. Like, some of the best prose in fantasy. Yeah. Also, the Darklings ending I thought was beautiful and brilliant, and again, it made total sense for his character, because like what I love about the Darklings character is that he does evil things, and I would like, he's a bad person. Like, he's not good. He's not a good guy. He is always true to his character. You know, like, he has one sort of guiding moral compass, and that pushes him towards everything, and it literally does not matter what gets in his way. He will do that one thing. And like, even though at the end, like, you could say what he did was like selfless or good, it's still like, it's still all because of this like one guiding principle that he has about, you know, protecting, like being the savior for the Grisha. That's everything he ever wanted. Does that mean that the things that he did were okay? No. And I appreciate that Leigh like makes that very clear. Like, leading up to it, it's like, you know, you have those characters who are like, okay, we will give you this concession because you were asking for it, but also like, no, you are not forgiven. Like, you did horrible things, and nothing that you accomplished makes up for that. And I think that's really, I thought that was really, really well done. So I loved that. Nikolai's end, beautiful. I was really scared there for a second that he was gonna die. I was like, don't you dare do this to me, Leigh. But she didn't. And I'm so excited for him and Zoya. And, you know, at the end, I love that even though it was a happy ending overall, that it didn't feel twee, you know, it didn't feel like, oh, this isn't realistic. It felt hopeful and happy, but also like, again, completely earned. And I am just floored by how perfect it was. Okay, well, I feel like that is probably enough of me waxing on about this. I don't know who has made it this far to the end of this video. If you have, let me know in the comments, because this is a long one and I don't even know how many people have like finished this book yet, but I'm so excited to talk about it with those of you who did. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.